सर्वं व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ता तां नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयप्रसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचिनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। So Swadhyaya, we saw 6 meanings yesterday. One is to chant, second is to study with a teacher, third is to study by one's own self, fourth is to introspect one's own self, and fifth is to be able to correct what are the flaws in oneself, and the sixth one, the very vision of life and the means to achieve that. So that was Swadhyaya, and Pravachan is to share. Should we say that no, till I don't realize the self, I will not share because I don't know? If we have to teach first standard or primary section, do we wait till we become PhD? We don't have to. When a certain level one has already understood, then the sharing itself becomes the sadhana to go deeper into that, and that takes a person ahead. Does not mean that one can take up any text and start teaching. That also cannot happen. According to one's level of understanding, one moves ahead and shares what one is convinced of, what one has known. So Swadhyaya and Pravachan. In this Upanishad, we have a lot of emphasis on that. 12 times, Bhagavan has said here, Swadhyaya Pravachanencha. So now we come to each aspect that has been enumerated along with this Swadhyaya and Pravachan. Rtam cha Swadhyaya Pravachanencha. So Rtam we have already seen what it is. When did we see? Long back maybe. In the Shanti Mantra itself we saw Rtam Varishyami, satyam Varishyami. So Rtam, first meaning of Rtam is what is written in the scripture, the truth which is revealed in the scriptures. That is Rtam. And second meaning is not only it is revealed in the scripture, it is determined by me that at this time in my life, in this situation, this is what I must do. Based on what Shastra says. Based on what is written in the scripture, the guidelines to determine what is right, what is wrong. Not being able to determine the truth, then Rtam is not complete. So if I simply study what is written in the scripture, but I am not able to determine what is the truth, what is right, what is wrong, when we have to act, then Rtam is not complete. So Rtam is not just what is written in the scriptures, it is also what is determined by my intellect. Arjuna was not able to determine what to do. Should he fight, should he not fight? Not only he was not able to determine, he was interpreting the scripture in a wrong way. Scripture very clearly says that if you are a Kshatriya, It is your dharma to kill an atatari. But he said, no, if they kill us, it is better. That is absolutely wrong interpretation of the Shastra. So not only what is written in the Shastra, but what is to be done in accordance with the Shastra, that must be determined by us. That is called Rtam. And how will we know? That's why the Swadhyaya Pravachana is added to this. When I do Swadhyaya and Pravachan, then I can know and live by Rtam. In this convocation address which will come in that also, the Rishi will say that how the great people in the past have lived, how the great people today they are living. Find out all that and determine what is the truth. That in this situation, how would I such and such person acted? If we do that, then we are able to determine what is written. One of the basics. So Swadhyaya and Pravachan, constant study of the scriptures, is also to sharpen our vivek and the discrimination. Not only to know what is right and wrong, but also what is nitya, anitya, what is sukha, dukha, all that. So Rtam. Rtam ta Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. Satyam cha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. If Rtam is to understand the truth in the scriptures and determine what is the truth in this moment, at this moment, Satyam is to live that. It is not enough only to determine and to know, okay, in this situation this is the right thing to do. Are we doing that? If we are doing that, then it is Satyam. Duryodhana knew what is the truth, but he was not able to live. So many times in our life also that happens, that we know what is the truth, but we are not able to live. The moment we do that compromise, there is a knower-doer split in our personality. That I know what is the truth, but I am doing something else. So that is called as a disintegrated personality, or personality which is dissipating its energy. Guilt, fear, insecurity, they are the byproducts of this. So Satyam cha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. Satyam in one's life is in different ways. Speaking the truth. So what I think, what I speak and how I act, all the three must be in tune with each other. That is called integrity. Manasi ekam, vachasi ekam, karmani ekam, mahatmanam. Manasi anyat, vachasi anyat, karmani anyat, duratmanam. So integration of thought, word and deed. Of course for a pure motive, for a selfless purpose, or for performing one's duty, not for harmful motive. Don't say that I thought bad about that person, I spoke bad about that person, and I acted badly with that person. So I am an integrated person. Applies to good aspects. But if you see the example of the terrorists and some people who are bad that way, you see the power of integration in them. They are able to apply what they are convinced of. They just apply, full stop. Just that it is in the wrong direction. So it harms everybody, including themselves. So power of integration is great. Satyam. So speaking. Satyam manifests in speaking. Suvakya, Subhashita, it is called. Then in Vyavahar also, Sadachar, goodness in behavior, in conduct. In speaking, one important point is Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada, Hitam Vada. Speak the truth, speak lovingly, and speak for benefit. And one fourth one is important, which we forget, is Mitam Vada. Talk in brief. Don't keep on talking long. Satyam, priyam, hitam, mitam. Measured. So that is in speech. Then in vyavahar, good conduct. Today, unfortunately, what has happened is we don't believe or trust the goodness of people. We keep on doubting. There was a very nice, simple story. There were two children, one boy, one girl. This girl was having candy, some chocolates. And this boy was having some marbles. Both were playing on the beach, independently, separately. So the boy, when he finished playing with the marbles, he was walking and he saw this girl was there, having candy. So the boy said, will you give me your candies? I will give you my marbles. He said, okay. So the boy gave the marbles and the girl gave all the candies. Both of them went. Now the girl went happily home, played with the marbles for some time and then she slept. This boy could not sleep. Why? No, not that he has finished the candies and marbles are not there. Because he retained two marbles with him which were the best marbles. So he was not able to sleep because he said, maybe if the girl has also retained two good chocolates and not given me. Suspicious, doubting. How it began? Because he was not righteous. Finished. Started distrusting. So we have to trust the goodness of other people and find that goodness in us and continue to relate with that goodness. If there is somebody who is harmful or if there is somebody who is maybe disrespectful or whatever it is, one may be cautious. Doesn't mean that if I am trusting the goodness I get exploited by anybody, everybody. No, caution is fine. If I know. Just like we know that, okay, now if the snake comes, we will be cautious and we will run. But that does not also mean that everybody will look as though he is a snake. Today we are doing like that. Goodness in other people, the trust has become very less. So satyam manifests in the form of goodness in the relationship, in the form of genuineness, in the form of sincerity. If there is genuineness in a relationship, one doesn't require to even spend long hours. Few moments also are enough. But the person knows that you are a genuine person. You are genuinely interested in the well-being of this person. So in good conduct, in speech, in word, what word we give, satyavacha, it will come now. The Rishi's name is also satyavacha. So if we give a word, then we should keep that word. One of the PJs says that, what can you give at the same time keep it with the word? You give that word, then you should keep that word. For that the whole Ramayana also happened. Bhagavan went to forest for 14 years because the word he gave to the father. Imagine if people keep up the word, courts and laws and lawyers are not required. They will all become jobless. They are all thriving because satyam is not there. And the best part is the emblem which is there above the judge says satyam eva jayate. If satyam eva jayate, if truth one was the basis, then so many of these are not required. So Rtam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha satyam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Swadhyaya and pravachan will keep us on track to Rtam also, satyam also. Then tapascha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Tapas means austerity. is any effort that we take to lift ourselves from a fallen state. Because the opposite of tap is pat. Pat means to fall. So any effort to lift ourselves from a fallen state to a higher state is called as tap. Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya has written Krichradi, which means disciplines like fasting, Vrata, then certain types of ritual on certain auspicious days. So those specific practices, they are indicated as tapas.
Coming to the lecture.
Getting up early morning, coming to the lecture, no, tapas. So tapas means any attempt at self-mastery of the body, mind and intellect. New Year when we just now went, everybody would have taken some resolution. That resolution will be what? To evolve. Nobody will say that from now onwards I am going to indulge freely. That is not any resolution. That is normal way of saying. The resolution will be now onwards I will live in self-control. I will eat this time only. I will reduce from 10 times eating to 6 times eating. Or I will not eat chocolate and cake and pastry, whatever, some resolution. Or I will chant the Gita every day. So that is called as tapas. And tapas is a very important aspect in a spiritual seeker's life. Gurudev said, comfort comes as a guest, lingers to be the host, and then completely enslaves us. So what the great masters called as tapas, psychologists and others call it as comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. And what is the comfort zone in which I am trapped? It may be food, it may be sleep, it may be certain types of things that we see, hear, taste, smell, touch. We are used to certain habits. Some coffee in the morning, some cigarette in the night. Some comfort zone will be there. There is a functional comfort zone and there is a psychological comfort zone. Remember. That psychological comfort zone is what we have to get out of. Functional comfort zone you cannot get out of. Unless there is absolute detachment from the body and mind is absorbed in something else. So if I have to take a pill for heart every day, I must take that. One can't say that, no, it's a comfort zone, I think. I'll stop taking it. And then the body will get harmed. So psychological comfort zone is that on which we depend for our happiness. Without which one feels miserable. Psychologically one feels miserable. So all those comfort zones are what bind the individual to this body or to the world outside. Hence tapas is that. So many places tapas has been glorified in our culture. Tapasa kalmasham hanti, it is said. By tapas you destroy the sins. What is the basic sin? Identification with the body is the basic sin. Suppose when I indulged a lot, put on so much of weight, it has become very unhealthy. That is a sin because that is not a natural state of the body. So then by tapas, by dieting, by living self-control, one comes back. The important thing is not to come back only. The important thing is to maintain. That maintenance takes a lot of effort. That is actual tapas. Otherwise one becomes very slim in one diet for 10 days in 1 month. And after that one can't maintain. Again back to normal. And curse that diet, saying, see, I told you that diet won't work for me. There are some people who are very funny. They say, if you go to the gym, you build the body. And the moment you stop going to the gym, you again start putting on weight. Obviously. That's not the fault of the gym. So they say that gym जाने का क्या मतलब? If you go to the gym, you will get addicted to the gym. And if you start doing every day, you will lose the weight and you will put on nice muscles and everything. And the moment you stop, again you will put on. Now that is not because of the gym, that is because of we not going there. You do yoga also, same thing will happen. Do aerobics also, same thing will happen. As long as I am doing it, it will give its result. If I stop doing it, it will not give result. So the maintenance is tapas. So opportunities are there in our culture at different points in time to live in tapas, to give us a glimpse, so that tapas will become our lifestyle. So if we do upvas once in a month, Ekadashi day, then we realize that how light the body feels, how quiet the mind feels. So if one can live that way, one has got a glimpse. Not that every day after that one should do fast, but then at least one knows, okay, this is the power of living in self-control. One can start living appropriately. Sleep early, get up early. Today that is a tapas. We don't sleep early and get up early. Half the lifestyle diseases are because we sleep late and wake up late. The whole cycle of the body is reversed. So tapasya swadhyaya pravachanacha. It is said Brahmaji created this whole world out of tapas. Tapasa chiyate Brahma. Any creation actually happens out of tapas. So swadhyaya again will keep us on focus that what is that tapas that I am doing. At the physical level, what is the tapas? In 17th chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan gives that elaborately. What is the physical tapas? Deva Dvijaguru Prajna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So worship of the deity, respect to the elders, cleanliness, straightforwardness, living in moderation, non-violence, all this is tapas at the physical level. Then tapas at the speech level. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chaya swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. The tapas of the speech is not to speak agitating words, to speak truth, speak lovingly, speak for the benefit. And swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva. See that? Speak, having studied the Shastra, speak intelligently. And repeating every day the name of the Lord, abhyasana, or doing some chanting, purify the speech. That's the only way to purify the speech. Body we can take bath, mind we can visualize and purify. How to purify the speech? Take the name of the Lord, do the chanting of the Veda mantra. That is swadhyaya. Abhyasanam chaiva, vangmayam tapa uchyate. Then manasik tapas. Manaprasada saumyatvam, sthiryam atma vinigraha, bhava samshuddhirityeta, tapo manasam uchyate. Manaprasada, learn to accept life as it comes. That is tapas. So it doesn't mean that tapas is only doing some physical austerity. If I learn to accept life without complaining, without cribbing, without resisting, that itself is tapas. Acceptance of life as it is tapas. Manaprasada. Saumyatvam, gentleness, pleasant disposition. Gentleness in speaking, gentleness in behavior, gentleness in handling things. That is called real. Some people you will see them, they are very hard and rough in handling anything. You can keep a glass like this, they will not keep like that. Ta! Sometimes there are servants who will do like that. You can wash gently and put it. You can wipe your face gently. Everywhere, you see that gentleness is one way. Or very hard. एकदम जोर जोर से. So he says, Mana prasada saumyatva. Saumya, be gentle, be smiling, cheerful. One saint said, सदा प्रसन्न रहना ईश्वर की सर्वोपरि भक्ति है. To be happy at all times is the greatest devotion to the Lord. And who is an atheist? One who always cries and complains is an atheist. Which means I don't have Shraddha that Bhagavan is there to take care. Manav prasada saumyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Silence of the mind itself is tapas. In meditation, if I make my mind quiet, tapas. In fact, one definition of tapas in Yoga Shastra is manascha indriyanam aikagryam paramam tapa. Supreme tapas is what? Single pointedness of the mind and the senses is supreme tapas. Single pointedness. So if I am doing one thing at a time, that itself is tapas. If we are doing many things at the same time, that is multi-pointedness. Then even meditation we will be doing, thinking many things at the same time. So manascha, indriyascha, ekagyam, paramam tapa. Indriyanam, plural it is said. The single pointedness of all the senses and the mind is tapas. And that only can lead to the quietude of the mind, mauna. If the senses are turbulent, mind is wandering. The second chapter in the Gita, Bhagavan gives that example. Bahushaka yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. Bahushaka, the mind of such people is in hundreds of branches, jumping like a monkey. Why? Because desires are so many. Anantascha, not few. Endless branches there are as though. Buddhayo avyavasayina, the mind and intellect which is not integrated, which is pulled apart by desire, it keeps wandering. So maunam, atma vinigraha is self-control. Bhava samshuddhi, purity of the emotions. Not to entertain negative feelings about anyone. All this is tapas. And when we study, this tapas comes into our life. Even to regularly study and do pravachan itself is a tapas. So tapascha swadhyaya pravachanecha. The beauty of tapas is that in tapas all the dirt, impurities, everything burns out. Because another meaning of tap means to burn. And when the impurities burn, we shine in our true glory. That is the third meaning of tapas. So tapascha swadhyaya pravachanecha. Damascha swadhyaya pravachanecha. Dama is sense control. So Shankaracharya writes here, Bahya Karana Upashamaha. The restraint of the external sense organs. So if there is something harmful, not to see that. So not to indulge in what is undesirable, harmful, polluting the mind. To avoid all that at the physical level of the senses is dama, and at the mental level it is shama. So dama is given and then shama is also given. So something which is vulgar, which is violent, which is agitating, should not see that. Same way, gossip which is one hears, pollutes the ears and the mind. That ear through which Bhagavan's name enters into our heart Why should that ear be polluted by unnecessary gossip? Restrain of the senses. Withdraw. The moment something unconducive is there, one should learn to withdraw. So, dama. In bhakti it is said, employ the senses. Eyes are not eyes if they don't admire the form of the Lord. Ears are not ears if they don't hear the glory of the Lord. Feet are not the feet if you don't walk up to the temple of the Lord. So withdraw from all that which is unconducive and apply to that which is conducive to invoke bhakti, to invoke surrender in our heart. That is dama and shama. It doesn't mean don't see at all, don't hear at all. That is very unnatural. A lot of psychologists, they don't understand that. So a few years back, there was this whole movement about don't suppress, express, don't suppress, express. Because they thought that dhamma means suppression. And you just withdraw. But withdraw from the unconducive and attach to the conducive. That is what is said. It is not suppress and don't see, don't hear, don't taste. So shamascha swadhyaya, damascha swadhyaya pravachanecha, shamascha swadhyaya pravachanecha. Shama is antakarana upashama. Shama is to withdraw from the unconducive, polluting, unwanted desires and thoughts. If shama is there, dhamma will automatically happen. And if dhamma is there, shama will get facilitated. If either of them are not there, the other one will be failure. In the absence of dhamma, shama cannot be practiced. In the absence of shama, dhamma cannot be practiced. Both must go together. Then says, now these few instructions which come, they appear to be specific for the householder, but they can be applied even to other stages through understanding theory. So first it says, Agnayascha swadhyaya pravachanecha. So it is the duty of the householder to maintain the fire. So fire was the symbol in those days of, one is that the household is running and active, and other is that the rituals are being done in that house. So there are different corners in the house where this fire is lit. One is in the kitchen, one is in the Vedic Havan Kunda. In different places it is lit. 5 different places it is lit.
24 hours.
No, not 24 hours. Through the day it is lit, and in the night only that one place the fire is kept alive. And every morning from there the fire is taken and lit in other 4 places. There was a tradition like that. So it is the duty of the householder to maintain the fire, meaning to do rituals daily. Vedic culture depended on yajna and havan. And every deity was propitiated through that only. So one is that the householder is invoking the deity. Other is that the household is running actively. So that fire is there in the kitchen, food is being cooked and it is being served and it is shared. So the duty of the householder was not only to cook for oneself and the family, but support the society through that. So before one eats, one takes out the portion for the bird, for the animal, for the poor, and then for some atithi, then one eats. So the fire also is symbolic of that pancha yajna that one is supposed to do. The householder is supposed to do 5 types of yajna. First is the deva yajna. Deva yajna meaning havan. When we do the havan to propitiate the deities or the devatas, That's why the Gita also speaks about that. Parasparam bhavayanta shreya param avapsata. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu. That you offer the oblations to the devatas and propitiate them through the mantras and through the offerings. And they in turn will bless you with what you desire. So it is symbolic of our spiritual duties that we connect to the divine. To know that there is something higher than us also. That is Deva Yajna. Then there is Rishi Yajna. So the great rishis who have given us the culture that we live, we all are Rishi Putras and we are living the Vedic culture. So many great rishis have done so much of sacrifice to discover, to live, to propagate this Vedic culture. So that Rishi Rina that we have, we offer that through the daily study. Swadhyaya and Pravachana is a part of the Rishi Rina. And support the Gurukul. So the place where, earlier days, today government is talking about free primary education and all that. In Vedic times, in those days, education was free. No fees was collected. Whoever that person may be can go to the Gurukul and study there, staying with the teacher. And at the end of that whole training of 12 years, or little more than that also, that person, if one feels grateful, then one can offer whatever one feels like. And so those who have benefited from the Gurukul, they would donate as an expression of not only their gratitude, but that money or that resource will be used to educate the further group of students. So that is how the culture also continues. So that is the Rishi Rina, Deva Rina. So Deva Yajna is done for it. Rishi Yajna is done for that. Great Rishis. Then comes Pitru Yajna. The rituals that one must do towards the ancestors. Shraddha, Karma, etc. And also to live that culture that the ancestors have handed over to us. That would make them more happy. The values and Shraddha, etc., don't think they were relevant only at that time. They are relevant even today because those principles remain the same. That the jiva drops the body and goes. But the jiva exists and we are connected to the jiva. Our karma itself connects us to the jiva. So, doing those rituals, Antyeshti karma, Shraddha karma, they all are very important. We may not know the significance and we should find out the significance and do it. We do that. Suppose there is a disease, a rare disease that one has, and one doesn't know what it is about, why it is happening, what is the cure. Will one say that, I don't know what is the cure, what is the cause, so I am not going to bother about it. One will find out. No? Same way, one has to find out what is the meaning of the Shraddha, what are the rituals, Pindadam, Tarpan, so many things are done in that. And one must do that. Not that everything we do is with meaning in any ways. Then why apply that only to this? इसका मीनिंग पता नहीं इसलिए हम नहीं करेंगे. Do you know what the result of what you are eating is? Even that much we don't know. उसका असर क्या होगा बॉडी पे वो भी हमको नहीं पता है. So do we stop eating? We are eating. No? So many times even after knowing what is not conducive also we are still doing. So Shraddha karma etc. have their importance and significance. It may be a different matter that some of the pundits and other people sometimes try and exploit people in the name of Shraddha. That should not prevent us from knowing the real significance and doing it. So that is Rishi Pitru Yajna. Dan karma is done, Dam is done for the Pitrus. No, what if they have taken birth somewhere else already? So what? You are not doing for their body in any case. You are doing it for the jiva. And that jiva is there or not? Now what if they have attained moksha? Then very good. It will go directly to Bhagavan. So don't worry. Keep doing. Don't find an excuse not to do. So Pitra Yajna, that is called. Then comes Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta Yajna means being sensitive to the environment, not to ghosts and goblins. Bhuta here means Panchamahabhuta. So the environment around us, the nature around us, not to exploit it but to worship that, to consider nature as a manifestation of the divine. Not to pollute the rivers, not to cut down the trees. Add to the beauty of nature. And last is Indra Yajna. Indra Yajna means human. Indra means human being, Nara. So all these Atithi etc. they come under that. Our social obligation. No and Rishika Ru. So no with a semicircle below that. Indra Yajna. Or Manusha Yajna you can say, simple. So the Atithi who comes, earlier days that such a dharma it was. It was not easy to communicate. No? So Atithi means one who will come literally without informing. And one must take care of that Atithi. Atithi Devo Bhava. It will come in this one. Nowadays without Tithi, if you inform and go, other person may not be home, and if they are at home, they must be busy. Now the concept of Atithi has not gone. Now you all are Tithi only. Tithi Devo Bhava. Inform and go. So Atithi, to welcome the Atithi, or other social obligations that one has. These are all the duties of a householder. And through this, the householder supports the whole society. Niru Yajna also means all that, supporting the brahmachari, vanaprasthi, sannyasi, all that comes under Niru Yajna. So Agnayascha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha, continue to do the fire ritual, maintain the fire in the house. Agnihotram was a daily ritual which is supposed to be done, Vedic ritual. Even today there are some people who do that. Agnihotra, daily. And you see the quality in them and others. It will be a different quality. Agnihotra, every day they do. Not that it has become irrelevant. We have become gross not to be able to understand its significance. But even today it can be done. Just like tapas or meditation can be done even today. Even Agnihotra can be done today. Every day you can do that. So there are mantras, there your Agni is there and Devata is invoked and you do the rituals and offerings. Like how Gayatri mantra is Sandhya Vandan which we do every day. Like that in Agnihotra also there are rituals, there are those deities which are invoked and you do the offerings every day. And you connect to the Lord. It is not the Gayatri Havan and all that. Agnihotra is a special Havan. Special Havan meaning there are mantras dedicated for Agnihotra specifically. So it is not like every day doing a Mrityunjaya Havan or a Gayatri Havan. That is Gayatri Havan, separate. But this one is Agnihotra. Agnihotra is different. No, that is not called Agnihotra. Agnihotra is a fire ritual, proper fire ritual.
Why it is to be there?
See, earlier days the Vedic society was dependent on that, no? The entire Vedic culture was based on the Havan. And it was a spiritual discipline. Just like today, puja or japa is a spiritual discipline to cleanse our body, mind, intellect and to empower ourselves spiritually, same way Agnihotra is to be done. I will let you know what is the significance of Agnihotra specifically.
But then Devi Yajna is also to be done every day, right?
Yeah, so Agnihotra is a part of that. Agnihotra is the Deva Yajna. So, Agnihotram cha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Now one may say, okay, this is only for the householder. It applies to everybody. Because Agni is not only in the house. For a spiritual seeker, the fire of seeking must be maintained. And it must be intensified through daily sadhana. Our seeking will become so dull and dim and weak. It may start like a spark, but it must become a big conflagration of fire. That it must consume away all the impurities and finally destroy the ego only. That is the responsibility of the seeker. And we have to maintain that fire of seeking within us. The temptations in the world are so many, they will keep putting it out. And if we indulge more and more in that, gone. That fire, that's why it happens, no? In the camp, that fire is lit. And one is, yes, I am. And after 5 days when one comes back, all the fire is gone. Samsar mein phas gaye वापस. Then again and then some problem comes, hey, where is study class? Where is I want to go to study class. Again after some time. That consistently the fire must be built. So that fire must be in our heart that I want to know the truth. Having got a human birth, let me strive to know the truth. Bhagavan, please give me that mumukshutvam and let this fire be kept alive. We don't know when we will get the next human birth. And to get a human birth like this, where we are in touch with Vedanta, with a realized master like Gurudev, when that will happen, we don't know. What karmas are there in store, which are ready to give result also, we don't know. For that which janma we have to take, no idea. This is not to scare any of us, but the point is to realize the value of what we are having right now. So precious that is. See, wealth, name, fame, power, position, all that is transient. It will come, it will go, and when we depart from here, it will remain here only. But what is permanent is bhakti, is jnana, is seva, is chitta shuddhi. All that is stable. And that we should not leave for that which is transient. Then neither this nor that. Then we are called Trishanku actually. So best is to keep striving to strengthen this. So that is the fire in the heart must be maintained. There is one more fire which should be maintained, and that is the Jataragni. If the Jataragni is strong, good health. Jataragni becomes weak, then all metabolism gone down, weight we put on, and you can't live healthily. All problem. So yoga abhyas one should do. Then Jataragni is powerful. So that's the householder's duty, plus everybody's duty to maintain the fire in the heart, fire in the stomach. Agniyascha swadhyaya pravachane cha, Agnihotram cha swadhyaya pravachane cha, Atithayascha swadhyaya pravachane cha. The guest must be welcome, treated as lovingly as possible. Atithi literally means one who comes without informing. So it's not only people who come. Whatever comes to me in life, as though everything is going to come after informing me. So many things happen without my knowledge. Suddenly it happens. So the ability to welcome that which happens spontaneously. Atithayascha swadhyaya pravachane. Manushamcha swadhyaya pravachane. So Atithi is specifically somebody who comes. May be known to me, may not be even known to me. But Manusham here means all the social obligation that we have. So somebody is married, somebody is death anniversary, or somebody is Upanayam Samskar, or some festival celebration, or housewarming ceremony. So many obligations that we have in the society towards the people around us. That is Manushamcha Swadhyaya Pravachane. So if somebody thinks that if I become spiritual, then I don't have to do any of this. Vedanta says, Taittiriya Upanishad says, no, you better do all that. नहीं आप तो चिन्मय मिशन में जा रहे हैं, तब से आपने हमारे घर आना ही बंद कर दिया. चिन्मय मिशन नहीं कह लो. Not in Vedanta tell you to stop going to houses of people. You can always reduce what you want to reduce, but keep a balance. One cannot become an island living in a society. So it says Manushamcha Swadhyaya. That's another issue, that if somebody is not conducive, if some type of company is not helpful in the spiritual path and very harmful, that I cut out. That is a different point. There is no question of continuing. That we already saw earlier, dama, shama, all that. But where there is an obligation, that obligation has to get done. And these obligations are there to everybody, even to us, when we are working in the Chinmaya mission. Atithi will be there or not. There will be people who will come. We don't even know some of them who come. Then we have to treat them properly, ask them what do they need, serve them. If they want books, or they want to know some information, or they want to know about classes, whatever that is. So Atithayascha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha, Manushamcha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. People call us also, go, come for marriage, come for this, come for that. And we don't go everywhere. But we still have to balance. Some places where we have to go, we go. So as long as one is in the society, one has to do all that. Now it is one's choice how much one is following and with what attitude one is following. Prajacha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. You see the next one. To procreate and to continue the lineage also is a duty. Swadhyaya is required even for that. So many people are talking now. We must have this knowledge given to the children. They don't know all this. And the sex education is not there in our education system in an appropriate way. So many things are happening to children where they are not aware. So one has to study. It is written here. Prajacha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. To have children, suppose one is not having children by natural method, one has to put effort to have children. In the earlier days, Dashrath Raja, he put that effort. No, he did that Putra Kameshti Yajna to have children. It's not just that I want to have children for my lineage. But it's also because at a certain level, like he was a king, and there has to be a Uttaradhikari for him. So efforts have to be put to have the child. Prajacha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. Prajanascha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. It is also the duty of the householder to keep the spouse happy through the carnal enjoyment. That also is written here. So many places the cause of divorce is because they don't have satisfaction in that enjoyment. They are unhappy, they are miserable. And they divorce. Shastra says that one has to find out. In fact, there are mantras for procreation. There are mantras. The first samskara we have said earlier also. Garbhadham is the first samskar. Placing the seed in the womb is the first samskar. So Prajacha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. One should study those mantras, learn those mantras, chant the mantra, invoke the divine, and then indulge in the act when one is wanting a child, so that the divine children are born through us. So that way, prajacha swadhyaya, prajanascha swadhyaya, prajatischa swadhyaya. Prajati means the grandchildren. So this implies that not only that there must be the children that I have, but I should be able to give them good samskars, good values, bring them up nicely, not just physically, financially, even culturally, spiritually, good samskars are given to them, they are brought up, and then they are also married. So one of the greatest duties of a householder is the marriage of the child, especially the girl child. When the marriage of the girl child is done, and that is called as kanyadan, that is the highest dan of a householder. Because the person knows that from the time the girl is born, the girl is going to be wedded into another family. But yet the person brings up the girl with so much of love, care, affection, everything, and finally prepares her and then gives her to the other household, where she will be the Grihalakshmi of that house and increase the beauty, prosperity, all that of that house. So that calls for detachment. So Kanyadan is another dam, which is a great responsibility of a householder. So bring up the children with good samskars, get them married, get them settled, and then they must have grandchildren. It is not said here that great grandchildren. It is said only grandchildren. Shastra says that after the grandchild is 10 years old, you should take up vanaprastha. They never said that you should see the face of your grandchild, great grandchild, and then wait for the marriage of the great grandchild. Only 2 generations. Child and बस 50 साल हो जाएंगे उसमें. After that, vanaprastha. No need to wait. Today, so instead of doing vanaprastha, we are again repeating the cycle. We are again doing babysitting. Why? Because the daughter-in-law is going for work. So I should do the babysitting. So वापस चलो. So anyway, prajatischa swadhyaya pravachaneccha. So now 12 times the swadhyaya pravachaneccha was said. Now it is said that there are specific rishis who insist on specific qualities, that this is the most important. So there is a rishi called Satyavacha. He says Satyam iti Satyavacha rathi taraha. This Satyavacha, Rishi Satyavacha, he insisted that of all this Satyam is the most important. Because he lived Satyam. He was the son of a rishi called Rathitara, so his surname is Rathitara. And being the son of Rathitara, he is called Rathitara. So Satyavacha Rathitara is the name. If you want a name for a baby, you can keep. You can just keep Satyavacha also. Nice name. It's the name of a rishi it is. Or you can keep Rathitara. Whichever you want. Or both also you can keep. Satyavacha Rathitara. I'm not joking, really. Satyavacha is a very good name. So Shankaracharya writes in his Bhashya that not only there may have been a rishi with the name Satyavacha, or this person was so steadfast in keeping the word that he gave, Satyavacha, that he himself was called as Satyavacha. That he was known for his steadfastness in keeping up the word that he gave, and he lived the truth. So Satyavacha Rathitara said Satyam is most important. Then there was another rishi who was the son of Purushishta Rishi. So it's called Paurushishti. So what did he say? Tapas is the most important. Actually, if you do all this, that is tapas only. Rtam, swadhyay, pravachan, satyam, dama, shama, raja, prajati, all this is tapas. So he says, no, tapas is the most important. And he got himself established in tapas. Tapo nityaha. Constantly he lived in the state of tapas. So he says, tapa iti tapo nitya paurusishtihi. Swadhyaya pravachane eveti nako maudgalyaha. The son of Mudgal Rishi. Literally the word Mudgal means what, you know? In Sanskrit, Mudgal means hammer. So Maudgalya is a son of Mudgal Rishi. And what was his name? His name was Naka. So if you want, you can keep the name of the child as Naka also. Nowadays that will not be understood properly. But in the Vedic times, Naka is what? Kam means Sukham, happiness. Akam means sorrow, no happiness. Na akam means where there is no sorrow. So Naka literally means heaven. Very beautiful way to describe heaven. That's why we say Pare Dhana Kamni Tambuhayam. Which Upanishad? Thank God, one person knows. पूरा कैवल्य उपनिषद कर लिया. उसी में तो आता है न कर्मणा न प्रजया धने न त्यागे नैके अमृतत्वमा नशो परे नना कम्मे तंबुहायाम. परे नाकम, beyond nakam, meaning beyond heaven. So heaven is a state of absence of sorrow. It is not a state of positive bliss because Brahman is not there. Not there meaning Brahman is not experienced there. But the sorrow of disease, old age, death, all that is not there. So it's an absence of sorrow, just like what we experience in the deep sleep. Of course, punya karma one does, so there is a little positive experience of pleasure also. In deep sleep, that kind of experience is not there. But that is Naka, which means that there is only absence of sorrow, it is not the supreme state. So he was named as Naka. So this Naka Rishi, what did he say? Swadhyaya pravachane. Swadhyaya and pravachan, these are the most important. Tadhi tapas, tadhi tapaha. This is called as tapas. This indeed is tapas. What? All the above what we do is actually tapas. So this is the Swadhyaya Prashamsa, a very beautiful portion, and when we keep, even in this much part of it, we can keep chanting every day. From Rtam cha Swadhyaya Pravachane cha. From there till Tadhitapas Tadhitapaha. That much also we chant every day. It will remind us of what is my duty, what should I do, give us the motivation to study, to share, all that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate